Yeah, where's your vid? Are are you rocking? Are you doing the vid right now?
1 second.
Word.
Just give me 1 second. Pretty gnarly list.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's so many different like reference. I just like realized how many references that guy has.
Dude, we could like go into fucking like I was gonna say we could talk about that footage of the Margella doc. Like we could talk about that for like.
Well, guess what, Armando? We are.
We saw there 7 episodes. But what I was gonna say was tonight I prefer Reflection at its complete point, at its completion point, like more so the process and like all of the things that like commenting on more just like the like the references and like the video, the shit you see in the video as opposed to like the final
Yeah, the final product.
because I haven't been able to like look at because I saw the photos.
I mean, we could look at it now, dude. I mean, like this could be. I mean, this is like that.
I mean, we can transition into it for sure. I was just gonna say I don't have like an opinion yet on like the collection for the clothes. Like you know what I mean? Like oh, do I fuck with it? Like I know I like the photography. I know.
I mean, let's just form it right here, man. Like it's we don't have. I mean, this is.
Well, the thing is I have a lot of notes in regards to just different things I was taking notes of just now, like watching the video, and I have a shit ton that don't really even involve like product, just more like fashion as a whole and these other things. But like I wrote down a bunch of different stuff.
All right. I mean, like yeah, like this is like more of like less so. We're less so expertise, but less like more so he's like an attractive character. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like we're kind of just like conversating over the topic. I mean, granted, like obviously have an opinion, but like you know, like
all right. So let's start. You want to start recording?
Yeah, it's recording right now, my man.
All right. Well, let's not count. Let's not put that in there. But
fucking Albert Camus dipped in spicy Grey Poupon. That's
okay.
How we start
so
these things.
Well, let's. Is it recording still?
Yeah, we're working on.
Okay. So let's start with the title of this Margella collection.
Yeah, let me pull mine up. I can actually. Can you see like me?
I can.
Okay.
I'm just looking at my notes at the moment.
Okay. Well, I can just screen share it, but like you can kind of just like look at it while I'm doing it and look at your thoughts as well. Hold on 1 sec. The thing was fucking crazy. Did you listen to the podcast?
I didn't listen to his most recent podcast. Was there a podcast that accompanied this collection?
Yeah. No, every collection that he comes out with, he'll release a podcast right before it, like kind of just like literally like he's telling stories. Like I feel like you should listen to it just because like he goes into detail about like the Blitz kids and the La Posh and whatnot.
Yeah. So off rip, swalk. I'm guessing it's a play on walk, obviously catwalk. I'm not sure if they're like what the acronym stands for. Do you know?
No, dude, they didn't give me any information. Literally, they gave me nothing. Like I literally have to like pull all this up and like by myself.
So this is all on Winter 20, but what's been showing has been 21. So is this a collection that was supposed to have released like during the last run of shows, or is this an entirely new collection?
This is Couture, if I'm not mistaken.
It is Couture.
Yeah, so I thought it was Autumn Winter 20.
Okay, so I'm just mixing up the seasons between Ready to Wear and Couture. So yeah, one thing that he said that I thought that caught my attention was it was first off his awareness between the two, between Ready to Wear and Couture. They laid out some of the wet looks in the chiffon. He said that this is about the highest form of dressmaking. So he's aware of the spectacle. Obviously, that's his favorite his favorite slogan, right? Spectacle or the decadence. But he also said modeling couture today is more than just dressing the elite. What it does is it fuels the house. That's the purpose of a modern couture house today, to show what we're capable of, whether it's cut, embroidery, prints. These things we just talked about take time, slow cooking. So I thought that was it was like I said, it was something that caught my attention when he was speaking. I appreciate, these things could be thoughts that he's had brewing throughout his time in isolation, through being apart from his team and things of that nature, and like embracing the art of it, and like the slow cooking. I mean, I love that phrase, but just appreciating. I mean, that's what the collection is about, in a sense, or the video is about. It says the desire for transparency, this new conscious creative process, the human values that the process presents. So in a lot of ways, I think that this collection was about the process. I mean, a lot of things have become about that. I think we've seen in different,
which I find so interesting, because like the idea of transparency is so like the opposite of Margiela to some degree.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
it's like Margiela's like all anonymous, but no, yeah, it makes sense for him and his kind of approach. But wait, what were you saying about? Oh yeah, no, it was he had this like whole idea in like the podcast where it was like his approach to this season was like he felt like nature was taking over, but like his duty as a creative is to create regardless of the circumstances, and yada 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 yada. But what I found so, I don't know, like for me, like when I was listening to it, I was like, because like I'm not a designer, but like I just have the presumption that like you have a reference or two to a degree, and like that's really like what it is. But like when I really think about what he was doing, like he had like 4 or 5 different, probably even more, like legit, like not just like references, but like stories, and they're intertwined with each other, and then he takes the narrative and makes it modern, and then he makes it and he filters that through Margiela, which I find like so fucking, I don't know, like I can't imagine like juggling, so like, you know what I mean, like trying to connect everything to where it makes sense,
Yeah.
but then also makes sense for Margiela. But then I'm just like, okay, it's couture, so like this just informs the rest of the collections. And like I think you even said it like right now, like you were like saying like it's this just like shows the
highest form of dressmaking.
skill of the house.
Yes.
And it was super funny, like when he was talking about it in the video, he was like he's like, oh, we could like like making a dress that looks wet, like that's like, oh, that's easy, we could do that
The
standing
wet
on our
look.
head.
Yeah.
Like we could do that standing on our head, and I was
Well,
just like, okay.
Before getting into the wet look, by pointing out the people in the couture behind the scenes making, getting the job done, sort of the cameras, the camcorders, like on top of, like, I'm guessing position on the head of some of these employees, right, as they're rifling through the references, or like on the dog. Like, I think, again, back to just time and space that we're in, I think an appreciation for those around you has been something that people are even more so aware of now, like to appreciate like those that you have, because of not being able to be near and dear during, an epidemic. And, you see that with Gucci, with the photo or the lookbook, with the different employees that work there and on the design teams modeling the clothes, with the show notes or whatever, the look notes pasted.
Was Gucci good?
I didn't look at the whole collection to give an opinion, but it was Gucci. It was definitely like it's a continuation of
right now. I like it. I always like the different ideas that everyone's using to present on like a digital platform. And this looks like kind of like Balenciaga-y. Not like the clothes at all, but like how they presented it. Like it's like Balenciaga was literally like e-commerce site, right?
Yeah, it does have a Balenciaga sort of like the irony,
Yeah.
the dreaded word or phrase the irony. But
the fucking Allbirds commercial just popped up, and I just realized that's actually a clothing company.
they're trying to get you.
I thought it was like chicken sandwiches this whole time.
Allbirds.
No, I dead ass. I didn't realize they were stupid shoes.
But what you're saying, wet look. I thought when he was using that reference photo image of the Margiela drape, when he's the suppressing of the large T-shirt under the stocking.
Yeah, I didn't even think that was Marcello when I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
I thought that was a cool way to tie back to those what he referred to as the marble beauties or gods, which the circular cuts were inspired by to create that wet drape. And then I feel like it always goes back to the bias, full circle. No pun intended. He said off record, off grain. That's something that he's obviously sort of champion for. So
yeah, no, I think he said like the more he explored, like you would assume that he knows just about every pocket of the bias cut, but the more he kind of uses it, the more like he used the analogy, like, the more it speaks, the more he has like a dialogue with it, like it does something that he doesn't expect it's gonna do, which I'm just like, how is that possible? But like then again, like I don't know, I have no hand skill, so I don't know what happens when you touch fabric like that.
Yeah, I mean the team, you could tell at least him interacting with the one gentleman.
Hold on. Did you see in the video where he was wearing those Supreme Nikes?
Yeah, well, is it like a meme video? I've seen like him wearing them in the actual video.
Yeah. I was like his fits like surprised me, but then like not really. Like I kind of got over it quick. I was like, oh, look at like I don't know. It was like his whole look surprised me. I wrote something about it. I remember I was doing something for like the team, and I wrote something about like the whole entire kind of video. The end of that the video.
Yeah.
Like when they were spinning with that graphic. You know what I mean? I think that was a David Bowie song.
Well, he showed images of Bowie earlier. I just saw someone post a David Bowie post today. It wasn't on this film, but no, I didn't see the end. I got about 40 minutes, 35 minutes in, so I pretty much saw up until they cut to the Nick Knight portions of it. I saw them working on the red look, though. I think if that's the look you're talking about.
Yeah.
Prometheus, I think they pilot.
Yeah, it's so funny, like how he labels his muses, or how he speaks about them. Like, you know what I mean? It was so honestly, it was so inspiring.
Well, what I thought was really fascinating was Nick Knight sort of asking him if he names his dresses, and he says, no, I don't often, or I don't usually, but we can. And then later on, he said the dedication of these characters has left me speechless. I think he really fell into it, as I imagine he could. And then that's where I said Prometheus was, I think, labeled for the one red dress at the end, the finale look. I'm fairly sure there was only one that sort of boasted that bold or rich color.
This is it, because like this is the video. Well, part of the video was like this person spinning, but like the way that they shot the video, like it looked so like 3-dimensional. Like it looked like the dress was coming out. Like I don't know, the way they shot it, I mean, obviously he is who he is, so it didn't surprise me, but it definitely floored me. Like the way the way that he just visually looked, I was like, damn.
Just watching the whole team communicate, via Zoom or on site, but as a fan, especially seeing him and Nick Knight have dialogue, and I know they worked a lot before together, but the input and the enthusiasm of just like naming a dress, I maybe immediately think when people are like, oh, did you name your car like when you were 16? Like I knew no, but funny. I can.
No, yeah, that's funny. People used to do that back in high. I just realized like people used to name their fucking cars. Like they're like 04 like Accords.
Some of the images that they like, because I feel like there was multiple, because there's the photo shoot where it was very much like almost uh like the different, like, I don't know if sunspots isn't the right word, but the thermo, like, heat sort of map color palette was like the reds and oranges and blues that they shot, and then they did these ones where it was like the darker background, but the lighting they were playing with in, I think, some of the video here that wasn't necessarily final cut footage, but it was just them playing with the lighting after Nick Knight pointed out that he really was a fan of one of the images that looked like a glitch, like an X-ray, and then Galliano brought up Man Ray, and he was saying it was like a degeneration of images, like this decay of the images, like one on top of the other, sort of scan on top, and it created this almost trompe-l'oeil effect. And then they sort of ran with "There Can't Be Any Poetry Without Death," and his hairdresser said it looks like the universe looks like it's like looking at the universe with a cloud around it. And I feel like that image could have, especially because they kind of like hit it on the head like a few times after the initial time that Nick Knight brought it up, mentioned it, where the photography was sort of inspired by that degeneration of images, like that decay sort of inspired some of the photography for it, because when they were playing around, it looked like with the chiffon and then the sort of these different layers of dress, like the netting on top of the chiffon and those colors sort of contrasted, and then the way the lighting was shot, it just felt like it gave me a very trompe-l'oeil sort of, and then obviously you can tie that back to, you know, the Margiela trait, I guess, or for lack of a better word. But I just thought that was kind of cool. I was just curious if that was like spontaneous and something that he sees this image from John. He's like, oh, like, I'm going to play with this. I mean, I'm sure those conversations were all the conversations they were having in order to build up, like, what is this going to be? I'm sure that was just one of the many different sort of jumping off points. But
they I mean, like, I feel like the way that I have noticed, like, the way Nick Knight like works is that, like, he really tries to accurately comprehend what the designer wants I mean, like, it's more than conversation. It's like, it seems to me like it's almost like an emotional kind of connection between him and the artist, or him and the designer, to where, like, I feel like for him to even bring up something in like the creative process, I feel like he must know that John is going to, like, in some way resonate with it. You know what I mean? Like, he's only going to bring things up because I feel like they're almost like connected on a creative plane. Like, they're like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the way that Nick works is he just so, just the dialogue that they have together. Yeah, like he
does work with a lot of different, you know, people over his tenure, you know, so I can imagine that he has like,
it's an understanding of creatives, I feel like.
Yeah, even by having like Show Studio as a platform, like, shows that he has like a perspective with which he can, you know, he always has the different students' work or artists' work as the stage designs, you know, before everything was Zoom.
I love how John didn't wear a fucking mask the whole time.
You know, another thing that I felt was sort of, you know, at the end, like, she was talking about prints with a purpose, and virtual prints and taping and projection. And for a moment there, when they were shooting, when you saw the practice shots of with Nick, it kind of reminded me of the spring summer 19 couture collection. Not, you know, the colors very different, everything very different, but just the use of like this virtual form. Like, that was the one with the very graffiti sort of uber colorful background that sort of clashed against the clothes that were also uberly colorful, kind of right before he like tapped into that more like the navies and those greens, and like it's become a more sort of like this marine palette in a lot of ways, for like lack of a better word, right after this collection. But I thought of it when he mentioned like the virtual prints and the way they were shooting this. It kind of. Do you know what collection I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was like
With
I
like
think
the blue poodles.
oh yeah, that one. That was the one that he got so much like flack for. But like, I mean, it was just coming from people that are like just like have half cocked ideas. You know what I mean? Like
Left.
I just like felt like I was like honestly like even though like on the surface obviously it doesn't look very Margiela, like I was like in that style like is like obviously not my general taste. I was way more intrigued of the narrative or just like the story or just like yeah, like that collection was like it was so absolutely I don't know, to me it's just incredible. It was just an incredible story of like decadence and the bourgeois and like all that stuff. But yeah, what were you saying about it? Where are you going? Can you hear me? What happened? Can you hear me? Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold up one sec. It's just glitch. Can you hear me now? Better?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. My bad.
You blew it.
Can we just like start and then just edit the two, or like put one with the end of the other one?
Yeah, I'm sure you could chop that out. I'm gonna have Nina do it. I'm gonna force her to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that first part was solid up until there. So like you just like maybe like when you finish the sentence and then just edit it in kind of seamlessly.
Yeah, we're still recording technically right now.
Okay. Well,
it's still going. We're still.
So continue from where you were mentioning, like, not to repeat yourself, but because we sort of reconnecting here.
What were you saying?
How people felt about the couture collection in 2019 with the.
I think that was the first. That was the first collection where I noticed. Well, that was like really like him. Actually, no, probably a couple collections before that, like where he was really kind of hitting. I wouldn't say a stride, but like he was definitely coming into his own at the house. Like I feel like he really really respected Martin in the beginning, and he still does. But like now it's like he's pushing the brand in a direction that seems more. That just has more of
Galliano.
Yeah, and Nick, you could tell. But like I don't know, because like I can split between both because like it still has the Margiela accents that I like, but like it's obviously just way more what would you call like romantic. Like you know what I mean? It has that romanticism, the in the research, like
the Blitz kids.
Yeah, like honestly, like because like it's almost like he goes against so many things that to some degree what Margiela stands for, like the anonymity or like him speaking about the collections. Like Margiela never like spoke about the collections. Like he wouldn't even talk to anyone, yada yada. But he but that collection, that couture collection, I remember like it was almost like if you thought Galliano Margiela wasn't Margiela, then you definitely like this is when people started speaking out about like, okay, this is so not Margiela now. But for me, I was like, this is sick. Like honestly, like again, I think I said it already, but like the guy is so fucking creative. Like it's just like so like the way he's so the pockets he'll go into, like how like you know what I mean, like he I don't know the risk the guy takes. I don't know. He is like a genuine creative.
Yeah, he's certainly from I don't want to say old school of thought because obviously he's striving in this new modern age, but he has it's still an older mentality of like craft in hand, and
I like his idea of um he always the fact you think of Galliano, you think of okay, he's like a master, but he's always I'm still he's he always talk about a learning curve, he almost he's behind in this this era of technology or whatever, but just the humbleness, if that's a word, to even say I'm still learning, I'm still there, you know what I mean, from coming from a person of that stature, of almost being a last guard.
Yeah, the vanguard. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely OG legend type status. Certainly,
You see Bernard Wilhelm's last post? I think I tried to sell it to you. I'm pulling it up now. It's fucking good.
He posts a lot of his cuts. He posts a lot of his different pattern cutting sort of trials on his page.
Bernard, I mean, we've explored Bernard, but let me pull it. It's one of the funniest videos. It's classic jacked gay man post. But check this out. Shoot. Oh my god, here it is. You see it?
Oh, dude, I flew past it, but I did see the beginning. Really, just the movements, because I can't hear the audio, but that's quite.
He's genuine ostrich, 3 payments. Oh, oh.
Dude look like he's about to lift that thing, lift that pickup.
That guy looks like he lifts fucking boulders, man.
World's Strongest Man style. You know what it is.
It's crazy because I was watching I watched the full Mapplethorpe. I think you probably said you watched it. I remember you saying you watched it, right? The documentary.
Yeah. I
that
forgot
shit
what that
was
called,
gnarly, man. It was sick though. It made me it every time I watch something like that, I end up buying something.
I love that. Yeah, man.
What were you saying?
No, nothing. Okay, man. Is that his? Was that the model that was in it, Anton or something like that he was talking?
Yeah. The kid doesn't talk.
Yeah, because it could have been a different kid. It's just the yellow sort of headpiece they showed in the video. Yeah, because the hairdresser was saying I don't want to use the term romantic, but softer was what they were discussing in terms of completing that look. It is interesting seeing it from shoe department, hair department, makeup department, Tillier, this in terms of creating the whole world and then the picture being clear, having that clarity through 6 or so different semi-separate disciplines in terms of top to bottom, styling the fits. But I'm not sure if Stephen Jones was a part of this. I don't know.
I saw him in the video though, right? I saw Stephen Jones
yeah.
Stephen Jones.
Yeah, that may have been a video from the days at Blitz, because that was around the time they were talking about the Blitz kids. So I'm not sure if that was just to show his presence there. He had quite the hat on in that video. It was gnarly. It was
what a specialty.
It reminded me of I watched it a couple days ago. I'm not sure if I'm recollecting entirely accurately, but it was almost kind of like the Jacquemus bag of cowboy hats. It had that sort of swoop in its
How about that show, man? Did you see that show?
Yeah, they were out there in the elements, how they always be, some type of field,
Not gonna lie, that looked pretty fucking sick.
Well, that's what Jacquemus
How would you define it?
Bigger. It's the big. I would say it's just the bigger picture. Like that's how the brand has always felt. Like from
very south of France, very just like I just think of like
south of Calabasas.
Yeah, yeah.
Off of it's like the celebrity is one layer of it that you can sort of feel the presence of, and then like that kind of carries over into okay, now it's like we have these people's worlds individually, and then like they're already sort of elevated like lifestyles that they've presented to us online, and then it's like them accompanying that with like the environment that is also very like surreal, like another thing that seems like sort of out of reach. And I think a lot of it, even I do love like the architecture and the chairs and the way that they look like. I don't know if it's showrooms or just the studio where they like lay out the bags and the shoes and stuff. And it's very like organic, and but I'm let down by the clothes at times. Just I don't want to. It's not that it's. I don't know what about it is. Like, I don't want to say it's lackluster cutting or this or that. It just seems blasé at times in terms of like color palette, or because sometimes they hit it on the head. Like, I love this one pair of shorts they have where it's almost like,
let's look at it.
It's like a hand painted image of like boxer briefs on like on the shorts, almost like seeing through them and stuff like that. This quirkiness that is very like I said, it's South of Calabasas vibe. But other times it's just a bit too blasé.
What do you mean by blasé?
Like it's a bit too like undecipherable from the next luxury brand.
It misses some type of like grit. Like it seems like a product that's already out there, but just a nicer version.
It's a version with a face. That's how I put it. Because Simon is a face. Now he's but by association.
Is that his name?
He's a celebrity. His name's Simon. Yeah.
I never knew his name. Runway.
But I've said this before, and this take, I think people have disagreed with, and it's not really a direct relation to the clothes, but I always gave me like the Yeezy vibe, like the celebrity culture surrounding it, that larger than life essence sort of becoming something that is at times that feels bigger than the brand from the outside looking in. And there is a bit of simplicity I feel like to it at the same time. It's not breaking the spectrum, but sort of just living within its own pocket, which is fine,
It's always weird. It's like it always has the spectacle.
I like that. Not that look. Sorry, keep going. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say there's a look that had like a similar suiting.
Oh, it had like forks on it.
Not even that one. There was one that had like it had like these hearts, almost like laser cut out, like halfway out, sort of similar to the Margiela, the previous collection with those circular cutouts where it's almost like stamped. Like there's a menswear piece in here that's that I like, that had that tactile sort of. It had a playfulness.
Well, this is like I guess what you're talking about with the heart cutout.
Yeah. Like there's a playfulness to that I get from, like I said, the boxer brief painting shorts. Like there's like, but other times it's left a bit. It's a bit high and dry. I feel like they leave the taste in my mouth.
It's let's be honest, it's kind of underwhelming. Like it just kind of it has such a, like you said, like a cultural currency with like put the spectacle on top of it, and just like the general kind of energy toward Jacquemus. I feel like it's always been like he's like relatively positive. Like they get the thumbs up.
Yeah.
They get the thumbs up, so like they'll make a nice trouser, make like the hit accessory, and then get the celebrities to wear it. Yeah, it's like it's not revolutionizing anything, but I guess it doesn't have to. You know what I mean? I mean, like I feel like these brands can just like a brand like this can just operate in that vein because like it's successful. Like the way they operate is a successful way.
I mean, to give credit where it's due, he created an it bag, and not that's downsizing. Hey. Shout out Mika, man.
Shout out Mika.
That's Mika. Yeah,
we actually might name the podcast after her. Mika Union.
The Mika Kids. I was gonna name it the Blitz Kids, but
we don't got a name for this podcast yet. But
Mika and Marcella.
It's coming soon. We gotta figure that one
bringing
out.
back the bangs. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like scaling down a bag, like is that revolutionary? No, we created a knit bag out of it, and it's a coin sort of thing. And like I think you said, like a cultural currency is the perfect way to put. If we could do like a 2-letter word association with each brand, I think cultural currency for Jacquemus is pretty spot on.
Hey, what was going on with Louis V? I saw them posting something about. It looked almost cartoonish.
Yes, I haven't read into it. It's like I think it was like a sort of like fox or cat sort of figure, and like his friends on this world that this animation they created. I know they worked with a lot of like Omas Keith did the music. I know he did some work on Blonde. Did some work with Frank back in the day. I think he worked on the sound production. Like other, I'm blanking on some of the names, but other people he worked with. But I think Virgil like working within his culture, his community, and having them a part of the team, which is cool. I love the animation. I didn't really go in. I didn't read into the inspiration behind it or who or what that was. Yeah, like what sort of pushed that idea. But I don't necessarily think I have to fully get it. He's played with like the colors a lot, like whether it be like the seating of the people at the shows, and each section getting their own color, and obviously the spectrum of the rainbow in the first one, and this sort of like this like coming of age story of a young man. And I think that his collections are aging in that way, but I think that it ties perfectly back into like that image of the baby with that red translucent bag that I think is like, I love that image. But it kind of like that. If you put that image next to the animated video, it's like, I get it. It's something that, as a young kid, like if I saw that, it's like you'd want to. It starts off like it says like "do not open." I think the box that they send out to people, and like in the film, it's like the crate "do not open." And then it's almost like a kid like sort of sticking the key or like unwrapping that bow and wrapping paper and like opening this.
Do you ever see his campaigns anywhere, like outside of like the internet?
This present.
Like when I walk around like downtown and stuff, like Louis Vuitton has Emma Stone up, like it has no black babies or anything, which would be.
It has Emma Stone, yeah.
Like
I don't know.
It has those like classic white, almost like they always have like those classic, like it's kind of like supermodel, not supermodel, a little supermodel, but like almost actress celebrities wearing Louis Vuitton with like the most unrecognizable bags. Like I almost like where you're like, oh, I didn't know Louis Vuitton made that bag. Almost like they don't even realize like, well, maybe because Virgil does men's, right?
I think I'm not sure how like on the business side how they fragment like which stores get like the luxe like Virgil menswear treatment. But I know when I was in the city, like I think it was December,
True. Yeah, New York probably
had like the statues of the characters, like those very like the one color, very bold, like these things, and they were putting the stores being like unveiled.
I totally forgot. Like that was actually a huge project. Like, what am I saying? Like, they put.
I agree though, because like being in San Francisco, you still at least like if you're more into the menswear than the women's wear, then you may be like hoping or like, you hope that you'll see that full transformation of the store into that world. But I guess they choose based. I bet that there's some sort of like geographical like who buys what. Like maybe there's more women's wear bought in the San Francisco store, so they're in New York it's more hype. So it's like Virgil, like we got to do the menswear. So I'm not sure. I know they had some of the menswear in the San Francisco store.
When they did. They have it in the stuff.
But they had like that I think like that first season with those big pockets, and like it was like the Wizard of Oz collection. I'm pretty sure they had that in. But
but their buy is like kind of just. I mean, the buy in SF is just weak. Like I would go in there like looking for like maybe I don't know how it works for like exactly what stores would get what, but it's knowing like the clientele here, like those hype pieces just have to be present. Like, they didn't have any of the Wizard of Oz or anything like that, or like.
They should at least clear out one like window space for it, definitely. Even if they're not going to transform the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean they had like some pieces, like like you said, like the kind of the pocketed leather like monogram jacket. What would you? I remember I had a word for like those pockets. I forget, but yeah. But going back to that Mapplethorpe freaking documentary,
Yeah.
there was like honestly like something about like something because the last 2 days I watched American Psycho.
Were you watching that like prior to me sending you that clip, or did that
No,
inspire
you
you to like
no,
watch it?
you inspired me because I never watched it ever. That was the first time
Very
watching it,
sterile movie.
dude. It put me through a trip, man. But
It is. I remember putting it on the background once to have the opposite effect on me. Like before I had seen it in full, and then I'd realize how sterile and like just shockingly like.
I kept laughing, dude. I could not stop laughing, and I feel like it
Yeah,
wasn't a movie to laugh to.
yeah, dude, it's name dropping. Like what was his name dropping? Dries or Saint Laurent or something?
The video that I sent you, like he's like it's fucking Jean Paul Gaultier.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh my god, where'd you get that like evening bag? But no, like it wasn't even like that. That wasn't the parts I was laughing at. It was like just like the parts where he was like he would just like have these like manic moments of like I'll fucking kill you. Like that bartender,
Toxic, man.
like and like it just like it was so well played. Like his is all his interactions and like you could just see like he was on the brink of just like exploding.
Well, shout out
and, then, like, and like that one moment he's like, "Honey, I just want to fit in."
Shout out Christian Bale,
Fucking
all-time GOAT.
swollen, bro. He made me do crunches this morning. I was like, what the fuck?
He inspired you to get in the gym?
Yeah,
Home
bro.
gym?
Inspired me to get that cleanse on.
So like how you mentioned like when you see or watch or
Yeah.
in the gallery or documentary you want to buy something.
No,
Like
I was getting these pockets
after
of
watching
like
American Psycho, did you want to buy a home gym?
no, it was more like an energy. Like I feel like I almost get drunk off. I don't watch a lot of movies and films. Sometimes I go like sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But when I get back into it, like I almost get drunk off it. I almost get drunk off it, and I get up from watching because like I watched an American like Psycho, but I wasn't distracted. You know what I mean? I was
Before you know it,
I was literally I got up and like I felt, you know what I mean? Like I was hyper aware of like what was happening. Like I walked and like I felt like that energy kind of coloring my mind. You know what
dude,
I
that's
mean?
exactly how I felt when I was watching a couple years back or a year back.
But it's so
when I was
inspiring.
watching the Joseph Campbell videos, and I was like by myself in the room. I was working on like one of my final design projects, and I was like trying to iron out this idea so I can then like sort of just finish the lineup. And I remember walking outside. I remember just feeling the same way. It's like coloring my surroundings, and like I walked outside and I spoke to this man who's on the street, and he was like telling me to watch Bicycle Thief and these different movies. And sometimes the universe sort of segues itself.
Godard that does that?
Bicycle Thief is, I don't see me. My brain immediately goes to Fellini because I know he did lots of those Italian, those super popular Italian films from way back when, but cult classics.
Godard.
It might be good. Godard, Fellini, check them out. Irregardless, but I just seen Fellini's name a lot because I've been on Criterion, just loading up my wish list.
Like I feel like do you ever get this way where like you adopt you adopt their persona, just like a smidget.
Yeah, it's like a little. It's like that. You brush your shoulder off. It's like that bit of just. It's a bit of an ego trip in a way because like you're almost sort of like the character is almost like transplanting its form into you, and like you're sort of like, you know, that's the fascinating part about someone's psyche is that it's made up of so many fragments of
how
others.
Malleable it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you almost like you're operating on such a fringe.
I do. I mean, I think film is one of the most translatable forms of art where like you can access it from home and sort of just be entertained by it. So it's like something that's near and dear to many people. but yeah, in a lot of ways, I just feel like it's a relatable art form to where like you just become it, and you epitomize it, and it's like all art. Like it makes you feel good if that's what you're into, and it's just it's like I feel like it's the most translatable.
It made me buy this bag.
On the
You see my screen?
Number 9 leather. Yeah.
This is my thing. I was like, I feel like I'm not. I almost think like I can't buy number 9 because I become the number 9 kid. You know what I mean? Like that grailed number 9 kind of kid that I just try to distance myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like
it's just
I was like,
it's a Japanese like sort of.
it's just a tribe. It's just a tribe that like I love the brand and like they always have the cheapest like cool shit. But anyway, when I watched that Mapplethorpe documentary, he had an image of a briefcase sort of bag duffel like this one, and it had some other stuff going on. But it was like the way he shot his Polaroids with such crisp blackness, like it was just so black. And he had a little he had his name embroidered on it or kind of stamped on it, and I was like, oh, I'm doing that.
Dude,
like,
that's
I'm
what. Dude,
that's
one of the like motifs that I was so enthralled and like overjoyed by when I was watching and just geeking out, like nerding out over. I watched Darjeeling Limited. Wes Anderson was like they had their father's like old luggage, and it was these Saharan like animals. It was just like like elephant, giraffes, etc. And it had the father's initials in it essentially, and they were carrying that baggage sort of throughout the entire film until the end. They just throw it, like they don't have space anymore. And they're like, fuck it. And they just shed that baggage. A metaphor. But anyway, when I saw like that sort of ancestral, like hand me down, like this is like the family bag, like this is like the initials, TRG, AJC, what have you, insert initials here. But I love that idea. That'd be cool if you could go to someone that works on with bags and can get it.
Right when I bought it, I instantly looked up like leather, like the tanners around here, like these people that work with like skins, and I'm gonna get this thing completely. Like I'm so obsessed with like making black things blacker. I just want like when I do my boots or anything like that, I want it to be like just like the most noticeably black. So I want them to like re-dye it, and then I want to get my name just kind of imprinted right next to the handle, like right in this little pocket here. And that's
was Mapplethorpe. This is a cool bag. It almost had that sort of Stefan Bugatti shape. Bag.
I just want a new bag just because like
the handlebars at least do, which I think is what the Bugatti bag is named after, is the handlebars. But was this something that Mapplethorpe personally had, or was he shooting it, or both?
No, like he was shooting. It was just one of his famous. Well, I don't think it was that famous, but it was just one of the images that popped up, and I wish I screenshotted it, but I was like, it was just like it was like flowers coming out of his briefcase, but the briefcase said his name on it, and I was like, oh, I like that idea. I like the idea of like just like having like ownership on the bag, like putting like your owner, like your own propriety. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like your print. It's like your
and you can't tell what it is, and that's the best part. You really can't tell it's number 9. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with number 9, but I just wanted it to be like no identifiable like signature.
Your material footprint is just.
And I want and that's what I want. I love the shape of it, and I'm just gonna dye it and then put my name stamp on it, and that's just gonna be the bag.
It looks like it. I think it has a zipper, but it's almost one of those bags that could either be zipped or almost have it could have like a clasp sort of style, like on on the top part. It almost has like a bathroom sort of
like toiletry kind of thing.
Yeah, but with like a very like I said, it's exotic handle. Like it's almost kind of like the vibe of it.
I can't tell how big it is.
Yeah,
well, that right here, but I don't know. I still don't know. 16. I think it's really small.
Yeah, well, you have experience copying small number 9.
Yeah, it's time to retire the Telfar bag. Sorry, Mr. Clemens, but
Bushwick Birkin.
I see too many regular people wearing it.
But the bag's still fine, just, you know, rightfully so for the people, you know. You know what's funny is that you'd think that people would be like grateful that they could like get that bag, and people like are online complaining about how they don't get like because you have to you can put like you can be on the email list and for like a certain color of a certain bag, so if it's a different color that restocks, you don't get the email. And it's honestly people just people being lackluster and silly, but they're just like I'm not getting, it's like the bag sell out and I'm not getting the emails and now I don't have my Telfar bag, and it's like, man, you had plethora of opportunity to cop this bag at this point. Like it's not
so
attempting to be
crazy
elusive.
Because when I bought this bag, there was no buzz, and I hate saying that because I don't like being the guy that like, oh, I had it first kind of thing. But remember when I bought this bag?
But
it was like
I
2 years ago.
I do remember. It was, yeah.
And I just noticed or just watched as the bag just become the it bag, and I was like, it was literally something like, oh, it's like cheap, so I'm gonna buy it because I need a bag. Like no thought really behind it.
Yeah, honestly, that bag and their like OG, like the leather hat that they have with the Telfar logo and the belt, all three. All those accessories are on point. Honestly, I always wish I could have copped the belt. Even the hat. I see the hat even less so than the belt, but it's such a great it's like a staple piece for the accessories. I mean, I have those embroidered Telfar pants from I forget what season, but those shits.
Did you wear those?
I haven't worn them, in this heat, but I mean, it's a great slim cut and.
What are you rocking now?
Now, honestly, man, I feel like summer is like it's a little bummy. It's a little bummy. It's like a little. It's like trucker cash with the hat at times, the button downs, lots of like sort of like I don't want to say mechanic type of shirt, but like pocket. But
I kind of like your mechanic look.
The T button down sort of thing.
Like that one video that we sent of us outside making fun of Daniel. Fucking.
Is the one you said the other day or a while back?
Yeah, I think I sent it the other day. I think we dapped each other up or something.
Oh yes, yeah.
That look and the Kiko red shirt look, all-time faves.
Yeah, it's been like I brought out that yellow shirt I bought at the same time as that red button down. It's the long sleeve one's like sort of like linen light. Still, even the heat here has been. Yeah,
that's hard.
It was a light long sleeve, and even me trying to like pull that off, I had to have all the buttons undone. But yeah, honestly, less flexes going on, but it's more so like in like. I don't want to say in the accessories, but just the right hat, the right sneakers, and still wearing the Kiko A6. Got a couple pairs that I don't have to think about. I just put them on and I feel good. So, what about you? What's been on Tommy's?
Honestly, I've been copping. I've been recklessly copping lately. Like I feel like I'm in I'm like channeling like an Alfred Hitchcock meets Steve McQueen,
I like that.
meets Albert Camus meets it's like I'm just like on a real black
the plague.
Yeah, like austere. Like it's like I want like the blackest mohairs. I don't know why I'm talking to my phone like you're talking to me. I literally have my phone up. But so I bought this it's called the Fidel Rick Owens cap, and it's like silver. I bought some new sunglasses, which was an absolute reckless purchase.
Oh, you pulled trigger? What were the two pairs?
I was gonna buy the Persol 741s, but I did not because I tried a similar pair on and they just look ridiculous. But then I bought a pair that I never tried on. They're called Han Jobenhaven, like a Danish designer, super random. But they're just like obsidian black, and they're kind of a bigger kind of square, like not square, like almost like oval, not oval. That's hard to explain the shape. Actually, I can pull it up. What am I doing? But yeah, I just been trying to develop like this new persona. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is.
Do you think you go, because I feel like your overarching style is sort of, it bleeds through seasons and trends. It's never been about that. But how often do you feel like you're cycling through a style, I guess? I mean, it's always under the same sort of like umbrella of a style, but like, how you're saying you're kind of going for this look. Is that do you actively sort of have these like, I don't know, midlife, I mean, it's not even midlife, but like sort of like moments just with clothes, like periodically every couple of months? Or
Yeah, like it's like anything. I feel like it's like any creator that has a muse. You know what I mean? Like you'll like it's. I remember I listened to this good documentary of like Bob Dylan, and like like people like channel these kind of like characters, and they want to adopt these, like they almost want to become them to some degree.
who
And
would you
then
say like the character was in the past, like before this one, that you were shaping?
in the past, I mean, it's always kind of the same kind of archetype. I mean, always like that kind of anti-hero kind of person. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, again, like it's like the Bob Dylans, like the Steve McQueens, the like, or like the Albert Camus, or like the, you know what I mean? Like they all kind of like have this kind of or archetypal kind of thing. But like it was a good thing that like, Bob Dylan was always channeling Woody Guthrie. Like he like modeled his life after him, to where like, and he said like, oh, like yeah, 100%, like I would try to pick up his mannerisms, all this stuff, like literally completely like, diving into that character. But his thing was like, I'll never become him, but I'll become a different and maybe even better version of that person. So like the more focused you are, he was on like, he's like developing this persona that was like almost modeled after his idol. Like he kind of recontextualized it and became Bob Dylan, which I thought was like really fascinating.
Yeah,
I was like, I was like, I just want to go a couple layers deeper. You know what I mean? I just
there
want to
was a
go.
cool doc on him that I didn't get to check out.
Oh,
yet,
it was who shot it? It was someone famous. I forget. Um, fuck yeah, he's like the most famous director. Fucking,
I can't think off the top of my head, but let me give me a sec.
he did like Godfather or something.
Oh, Coppola?
Oh no, not Coppola. Sorry, not Godfather. Not Godfather.
Let me see. Because I also saw that on Criterion, but I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one. Because it said the best 8 Bob Dylan documentaries, so clearly there
There's
are
so
a
many,
few.
but I did watch it. It is good.
Oh, it says Martin Scorsese.
Scorsese. Yeah, he did the new one. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But these are the docs I got.
Rolling Thunder review doc.
Can you see these?
So this is sort of a branch off of not the what was the other brand that you mentioned just now? The Social P. Persol. Wasn't the Persol one, but those sort of like it was the similar black, but it was basically like they rounded the edges of it.
Yeah, like
those
had like a teardrop kind of lens, and these more have like a like an oval.
This kid kind of looks like a brunette Adrian Brody right now.
Yeah, and like I was like, I want that with these black mohair with like the gabs, like, you know what I mean? I just want like, I'm just developing this new persona.
The word vector keeps coming to my head because you keep saying like this like almost slate black, and there's a name for like the darkest, like most slate variation of it.
What's it called? I'm looking at obsidian or some shit. The darkest black. It's gonna be some like racial shit.
Vanta black.
Vanta
black. I had a feeling it was V, the darkest material on Earth. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there it is.
They have one of it of a BMW. I don't know if this is a real Beamer here, but it's like it's
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
it's so black. Like if you photograph it in like certain light, like it won't show or something along those lines.
That's awesome. That's what I want, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
what, like, yeah,
imagine a
because like
whole
it's one of those
collection.
things like, when you see someone wear something nice, like the pigment of something
The
is so
pigment of something is
strong.
definitely the tech
Like
that richness.
even like and like even if you don't know what it is, you know it's nice.
Yeah, like I've been I've been with like I remember walking by one of the homies once, and she noticed like I was wearing the Gabs, like the Gabardine, those Margiela pants. That one variation is like very much like it's not Vanta black, but it's Vanta black to the rest of the black I have in my closet, and they
Oh yeah, those are black.
like mention like, oh, like those are nice pants. Like you could like the pigment is important in terms of in regards to the luxury. A lot of times, like you can tell in the color.
Yeah.
But Vanta Black, I'll say it'd be safe to honestly, that'd be a cool collaboration, like a designer with like the people who like create that color. Because I'm fairly certain it's like, yeah, it's limited editions. Okay, so this is a Vanta Black watch. So this cost 75 grand. I was trying to see how much it costs to like use that color. I feel like it's one of those things where it's almost like sampling a song. You have to get permission. I'm pretty sure like you can't just use this color, but regardless, if they wove.
How do you use a color? Like how do you like who owns this
Like
color?
some type of ownership was obviously conducted. They have this ownership, and
Well, you know what I'm about to do.
it'd be cool if there was like a mill that could like weave this black, and then
Well,
use like a whole collection based off of that alone, like and then playing with the color, like the body, and then and there's the set. Like there's so many like layers to the color that you can play and bounce the Vanta black off of.
if you wish to purchase Vanta Black coatings, the following applies. The Vanta Black coatings cannot be supplied by or to private individuals. Fuck. Of course, I look up friggin' Vanta Black like sweater, and just a leaks pops up.
The Javon the next wave of the house of Givenchy.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I think you're the one that told me that he's doing
Men's
both.
and women.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but like you said, he started women, so it makes sense to some degree. I just want this. I just want a mohair now. I've been obsessing over mohairs.
I don't know if that's a recent thing. I think your obsession of mohair it runs deep.
I just actually got a new Margiela sweater from work.
You
Like
definitely spend your money on or your allowance, quote unquote, on pieces that are slight like that are like it's like flashy in the most non flashy way. Because we always speak about flash and like keeping the flash minimal, but shout out Frank. But I feel like the pieces you get, like whether it's like the mohair, like maybe it's a color, or just like a cut, like there's something slightly out of the box that's like, all right, like if I'm gonna have this allowance, I'm not gonna just buy like this base sweater or this base, unless it's like t-shirts. I'm not gonna spend on this base item. Like I feel like it's you experiment, like the sneakers. Like you got the what are the fusions, yeah, and the silver and black. Like
I actually sold those.
did you profit?
I mean, yeah, anything would have been a profit. They got them for free.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I think I got like
What was I thinking?
$400. That's $400 for them, and I was like, even though they're 60.
Oh, that's not bad.
I'm just like,
I was gonna
care.
say you didn't really.
I would have kept them. I would have kept them 100% if they fit me, because you have to size down on those. I didn't know that. But yeah, but that was that's like a branch. Like that's like a branch off my style. I feel like that was like it's like like that's like not like that's not like my home base. That's like not my everyday. But when I will, it still makes some sense that I'm wearing them.
One of the because you've copped like the mohair. I mean, I could just be like thinking of the one mohair piece, and like because of that one piece, I'm like, oh, you buy these like semi flashy things, but I guess most of it is honestly just like black, sort of like it's just a sweater or like the lapelless blazer. I guess it's pretty. I mean, even the lapelless blazer, like what I'm saying, like that's sort of a little bit off kilter. Like it's not like it's buttonless. Like you definitely play a bit in when you're shopping at Margiela, which I feel like when I was looking at like a plain brown sweater, which is, even though it's Margiela, I'd still probably use my allowance on because I love it.
Yeah.
But I think I was speaking to someone, they're like, if I'm going to spend like X amount of dollars at Margiela or, insert luxury brand, I'm going to like shell out on like a piece, like a statement. Like, does that go into your mindset? Like when you're shopping?
Yeah, kind of.
Like, I'm going to spend bread. Like, let me make it like count, or like is counting just copying like whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think at sometimes, like for sure, like I'll have a sporadic purchase, but like I think 90% or 95% of the time, my purchases are so long term with the idea of building a wardrobe, because I always thank myself in the long run, because like I literally have pieces that I've had for 3 years, but now they've all kind of merged together to where I have like now like I could create like probably like 50 different outfits with everything I've got, and nothing has a timestamp on it. You know what
and
I
it's
mean?
really
Like,
just you have like, not to paint a misleading.
what? I can't hear you. Hello?
Here, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What were you saying?
It's you have an archive of clothes, but it still fits on a rack and in a closet with a couple of shelves. It's not bins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I was going through like the suitcase when I was moving in to my new house, and I was like, I didn't even realize like those Americano Raf Simons sweaters from like that New York collection, like the cropped ones.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't I wear this? I was almost like, it was almost like I've got something new.
Talk about the knit, like the blue and orange knit.
Yeah, the one that you've worn, like I think once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one. I was like, why don't I wear this thing? The thing's fucking hard. But I do that sometimes. I'll retire something for like a long time, and then it makes it bringing
I
it
love
back.
that.
It makes bringing it back so much more like satisfying. Like my Tabby boots, I haven't worn probably in like 6 months. Granted, I don't really have anywhere to wear them anymore, but like I haven't worn those in like a long time, because I'm just like over the Tabby right now.
Well, Tabby boots are the new like Canada Goose.
I know, it's like techies coming to the store, and it's like it's almost like it's like, oh, like yeah, like my friends want me to try it. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a fucking like,
It's like, yeah, it's like it's like, I'm trying to think of a good phrase. Like it's like some sort of. I'm thinking like circus. Like what would that be compared? It's just like a little gag.
yeah, it's just like oh, it's fun. You know, it's like a fun thing for people to try. I'm being crazy with my style right now.
Like it was sort of like when we saw like the matching Dior like straps on those like pillow like Margiela bags, and like the foot, like the tabby shaped like wallet or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like it's there's certain little things or like accessories, keychains, where the tabby's become like the brand in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like the way like sometimes Margiela brands things, it's like it's just too. It made something. It highlighted something in the brand and made it a logo or a symbol that it never really was supposed to be. To some degree it was, but it never was. It was supposed to be so exclusive to where the only people that really recognize or know what it is are the people that shop there. But now it's like the four stitches on like the four stitches like for sure a logo now, like on the front of t-shirts, on the like
Yeah.
everywhere. But like and before, like it was like spoon, like a bent spoon twisted into a wallet with a cocaine pouch inside. Granted, you could define whatever that pouch is for, but we all know what it was for. You know what I mean? But like that's
Blow.
But like there was way more. I think it within like the lower lines, like the AVPs and the mains, like there's just too much. It makes it seem like the brand thinks the customer's stupid. You know what I mean? Like you think like we wouldn't appreciate something ironic or something even intellectual to some degree, even though Margiela kind of doesn't say stuff was intellectual. He'd like to think it is, but he kind of just like creates things off of like found things, yada yada. But like before, like it was like you go in, you have like these like interesting ideas that are kind of abstract, but you like it because it's interesting. Now it's like you like it because it's associated with something.
That's
you know what I mean? And like that's why I'm like, don't like why do they think that we're dumb?
When I got my
what were you saying?
No, sorry. Finish your point.
No, yeah, I was just saying like I was like, why? Like, I mean, granted, they are building a new customer.
Why play into it? Like, why play into like the consumerism and?
Yeah, because like it's like why like it's like they think that we, not we,
crave it.
They think that our generation craves like some type of like or just
symbol.
Like, or just like some like conventional kind of frequency of graphics and stuff like that. Like they could always have graphics, but like why not challenge a customer rather than kind of following them? That's my kind of thing.
Yeah. So when I got my Gabs tapered, they were fixing the waist, taking it in, and they like had to put back in place like the 4 stitches. Like I could tell at least like alter one, and now I have 3 stitches on the back of my.
I've had that happen to me before.
And I'm like, should I let it ride, or should I let the ego take over and sew one more stitch to appease my eye? Like it's it's like,
yeah, no,
it's a silly thing. Though,
I think before I would, but now I don't think I would. I think like before, like I'd be like, yeah, I need that 4 stitch because that's it. But now it's like, it's just like it's so beyond that. It's almost like that's like cooler. Because if I bought a suit from Margiela, I would take out the 4 stitches on the back.
Ooh.
And 100%, and that's like my next kind of big purchase. It's like the full suit, the full like classic like 2-button. But I'm taking out the 4 stitch.
Most def.
I don't know. I just don't want it.
Let it go.
I think I just have too much of it, to be honest.
As some of the don't even want it.
All right, man, you want to wrap this recording up?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was sort of just like trying to think where an ending point was, but I think you said, honestly, I mean, this is honestly multiple things probably, but
yeah,
the one clip just there is like 4 stitch or something. That was a good ending if that was the end. So
yeah. Fuck a 4 stitch.
Fuck a 4 stitch. But let me get my video up now that we did that. So
where are you? This is your house.
Yes, this is
Remember Soko Boys?
Soko Boys is one of my favorite eras.
Dude.
Soko Boys, a couple eras of homies. Like I had like one homie, Soko Boys. It was really only you and Pat, to be honest, but to me that was like enough. That went 2 generations deep.
Soko is like just a sugary, just
the best
mess.
Word.
Yeah, it's like
that's
the best
like that's the murder bravado of liquor. It's so bad good.
That's like how Daniel describes songs that are new. like no, it's him describing new era songs that he doesn't like, but he'll get on with. Fucking yeah, that was a We were going out more then.
I just love that Four Loko night. That was the semi-recent. I just love that, just throwing them on the ground, both disgusted by our decision making.
We were swept up in the emotion of buying a Four Loko that we completely forgot how retarded that is.
We go back and buy something else. Yeah, that shit was funny, bro. Dude, we would be pulling up.
Bro, I was half in the bag. We were half in the bag every time we went somewhere.
Yeah.
Remember Rocky?
No. You were fully in the bag, and I was like a quarter. No, I was like half. I was still fucked up. You always get separated. I'm just like thinking about the homie half the time. I hate that feeling. But
yeah, and I wasn't even there. I just remember getting stomped on.
It almost made me feel better that you were like totally fucked up because like I was able to like all right, well, he was by himself. At least he fucking had his own type of fun, whatever the fuck he went through tonight.
So many tits out.
That was a good show. I mean, is that the second time? That was the second time I saw Rocky. I think I enjoyed them. Maybe I like the other one better because it was cozy tapes and it's a little bit more just like bangers.
Me too. I think the first Rocky concert I went to was better.
He's the head of the Fenty campaign now. Well, not the head. He's just in the menswear reveal, the menswear skin reveal.
I never realized how expensive Fenty was.
Fenty definitely makes cake. It's like what's the number?
Well, let's find out.
What do you mean, like profit, like worth? Like I don't know how you how.
I don't know. Let's just say Fenty worth. Let's make it real obvious. Oh.
Like I would be surprised if she wasn't that much off of Kylie. Like it's hundreds of millions.
Forbes, let's see, Fenty 2018 accumulated $570 million in revenue.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
The entire operation is worth $17 billion, and guess how much belongs to Rihanna? 50%.
Oh, that's a good chunk. That's a good chunk.
Wait, what's Rihanna's net worth?
Dude, I didn't know she was like. She's probably not billions, but she's probably close.
Oh, yeah, dude. She has
850 million or something.
Not that much, but 600 million.
That's fucking
$600 million.
Dude, Drake's just been. There's that thing where it's like Drake pulled up to like her home in like DR, like at her brother's spot, and it's like, and then someone quotes me like, "Oh, I've done the brother move before." It's just like him. It's just like Drake. It's just his ultimate like chase for Rihanna is like almost too obvious to people. I feel like at times it's just like run with it. Like remember when he was doing the ESPYs or whatever, and he like literally tried to like hit on her, and it was like kind of a swerve.
Yeah,
like,
I
that
do
was totally embarrassing. I think that was when he was talking about fucking. What's that? Skylar Diggins. That was like the kind of bad basketball player. He like wore her Notre Dame jersey that night. That shit was hilarious, dude. Crazy strike.
I remember they were like a thing briefly.
Post Chris Brown, and then it was like Drake was like making songs with Chris Brown. People were like, I mean, I'm not a Chris Brown stan or anything, but people were just like, saying whatever, hanging out with the abuser.
Fucking Breezy? See Breezy? So tomorrow, well, let's talk. How do you think that went?